Alright, welcome back everybody. ASAP Grim here, and this is the continuation of our Endless Space 2 tutorial, where we're playing the tutorial. This is a back-to-back recording for me. We're going to be building Navy ships. So we need to open up our military screen. Alright, it's time to study the process of creating ship designs more closely. They are, after all, crucial to your success in battle. Click on Create in the Ship Designs panel to learn more about designing starfaring craft of terrible power. Ahem. Alright, create. First things first, your new ship design needs a name. Names are important, so choose something fitting, something grand, something slick, or not. It's up to you. Different hulls are optimized for different roles, so choose the appropriate hull for the task at hand. The size tells you the number of command points the design will require in a fleet. Select a hull, preferably not a colonizer, for a better understanding of the design process. So the hull that we're going to do, this is a offensive Corvette class, I think. I don't know what Endless Space 2 names its ship classes. Not the name here, but the overall class of the size of the ship. And Stellaris, this would be a Corvette, I believe. This is the defensive version of that Corvette. This is our colonizer ship, and this is our exploration vessel. So we're going to take the Igezre class. And I'm going to put parentheses C so that we know that this is a Corvette. Maybe I need to put CV. Because what happens to cruisers, right? What are we going to call it? This is offensive. We don't want to give it anything too overtly strong. This is a small ship that will pour firepower out. I don't know, something aggressive. So far what's floated across my mind is crocodile and shark, and neither one of those appeal to me. We'll call it a tiger class. Okay, there we go. As you can see, the hull defines a number of ship characteristics, the number and types of modules which are compatible, its base statistics, but also the initial production and upkeep costs. Okay. Different modules can be added to the ships. They are divided into 3 categories: weapon, defense, and support. Select a category tab, then drag and drop any module to a ship slot of the same category, or double click it in order to see the effects. Okay, then let's go. I think this is the weapon. And I want to play around with torpedoes. So you have energy weapons, kinetic weapons, and this is kinetic also. And the difference is laser versus plasma. Let's see what each one is doing. You get 28 DPS out of this torpedo. It's a projectile weapon. It is optimal at long range. You get 39 DPS here, but you need to be in short range. So the thing I'm thinking of is each engagement is a period of time, right? And you're doing 0 DPS if you're not in engagement distance. So some of your effective DPS for that entire engagement time gets destroyed by the fact that you're closing distance. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And you would have to close a lot of distance here to get that 39 DPS started. Meanwhile, this one's doing 28 DPS the entire time. And then over here, you got 21 DPS, critical hit chance is 10%. And it's optimal at medium range. 21 versus 28, or 11 gross, 5% crit hit chance. But it's optimal at every single distance. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go with torpedoes. All right, so I double clicked it and then put it into this slot right here. Now I can see I've got another weapon slot here, so I'm gonna drag to here. And then I can either put a defense or I can put a weapon here. We've got basic reactive plating, which defends against projectiles. Or we can go with basic uniform shielding, or we can do both. And I like the idea of doing both. Oh, he has more to say. All ship statistics can be impacted by new modules. Weapon modules mostly increase the offensive military power, while defense modules increase the defensive military power. Support modules, by contrast, can grant special capacities to your ships in general. Also note that a high crew value can give you a substantial bonus to your offensive military power. And that must be this symbol right here. The manpower of troops in this ship. This is used for ground battles and will regenerate over time. It also gives you a damage bonus, plus 20% when full during space battles. Okay. So it seems we carry a contingent of Marines on all of our ships. For each ship design, there is a maximum possible crew size which will be supplied provided there is sufficient Empire manpower available. Naturally, the higher the value is, the better the bonus. Think carefully about the choice of your weapon and defense modules based on who you expect to encounter in battle. I have no idea who we're going to encounter. Shield defenses are more efficient at absorbing attacks from energy weapons, while plate defenses better resist attacks from projectile weapons. The choice of weapons will also determine the attack efficiency of the three possible ranges: short, medium, and long. Among the weapons, beams have an optimal efficiency at all ranges. Lasers are slightly less accurate but have more power. Missiles are long-range specialists and kinetics counter missiles and are short-range specialists. Click on Create Design when you have made all your choices. This newly created design will then become available for production in your systems. Well, am I done? What about support? Health bonus of 50, and then 50 additional manpower, and the ability to deploy more soldiers. That sounds pretty nice to me. What else do we have here? Warp drive is for speed. Well, speed would be good also. Repair ship after battle. I don't think I need that yet. We're not deployed far and wide, you know. We're not a long ways away from shipyards right now. I believe I'm going to go basic warp drive. I would use this on larger ships, I think. And this, oh, I already filled that up. That was a defensive module. Okay, so squadron ship module. So that's it. We've got the Tiger class. Create that design. And then I want to create, let's call it the Tortoise class. It's a Corvette. We're going to make this the Uranif class. And what I'm thinking to do here is to give this one a kinetic to make it anti-missile. And have it close range also. Ion torpedoes, that's the wrong one. This one right here. So these would be the tanks that I'm going to send out to close in on the enemy. And then I'm going to give... I want to favor shielding because this weapon is going to be helping to shoot down missiles. What's this? And also give it a warp drive because closing speed would be good. Destructive salvager, nano repair bots, and improved recruiting. We would get dust per command point if we put these on there. That's from one of the things that we discovered earlier in a previous episode, but I'm not going to use it. We're going to create that design. Designing new ships is an essential part of creating an effective military machine. However, once a few designs have been created, it may be quicker to edit existing designs. Indeed, if you upgrade an existing design, all ships of that design will be available for upgrade through the retrofit fleet action, provided they orbit a star system that belongs to you or one of your allies. Nice. Okay, so here's the edit button if we wanted to do that. I don't need to. And so what I want to do now is enter into Doucet and there we go. See, it is a Corvette. And I actually want to see if I can get rid of that design so that there's no confusion. This one right here, delete. Maybe not. That's my baseline. But I think that's what he was saying, though. We would go here and we would edit this and give it a new name. I think that's how that would work, but I feel a little bit nervous that I may be misinterpreting that, so it doesn't cost me too much to just leave the Corvette there. All right. Primus is good to go. Do I have a science? Baryonic shielding is in progress. Can I move? Oh, wait a minute. Do I have probes? No, so I need to wait. Uh-oh. New event. Call a spaceman a spaceman. On some of your systems, an antiquated classification scheme used to categorize minor civilization citizens has the religious community up in arms. The classification system is mostly meaningless at this point, but to officially accede to the protesters' demands would be a small bureaucratic nightmare. Antiquated naming system. So from our perspective, it doesn't matter because we view kind of everything as same. You're serfs. Shut up and do your jobs. Right? That's what authoritarians do. But the people are saying names are important, and it looks to me like they're protesting that a group of people are being marginalized, or is it the opposite? I don't quite know. Ignore -10 influence on systems on empire. Increases scientists' political ideology. Or change -15 industrialization on colonies on empire, but increases the religious political ideology. On colonies versus systems. I'm going to go with this one. Sometimes words have to change with the times too. It'll be a logistical nightmare, but the switch should be welcomed by all. Did I have a different... Oh man, maybe I should have read what he had. I thought that was having to do with something else. The United Empire is an influence and industry-based faction. Let's click on the technology screen in the control banner in order to learn more. You can also click on your system if you want to learn more about other special attributes or gameplay. All right. Cerebral reality is done, and our navy is now being built. Okay, so click here. Like most factions, the United Empire can unlock new technologies using the science resource to research them. Select an initial technology from the technology tree if you want to learn more. Note that if you have enough reserves, you can buy out by using influence. Okay, and we have 300, and click to buy out this technology with influence. You cannot afford the 379 influence needed to buy out this tech. We have 333. Okay. And then I'm sure that would go up. No, 380 seems to, it's a flat rate. All right, is there something else available? That's cheaper, where we can progress this teaching mode? Doesn't look like it, so that's where we're at right now. Okay, do you have probes? You do. Oh no. Do I need 2 of 2? Required curiosity expedition power is 2, and I have 1. And I think that's because a probe came back. So we're going to wait 2 more turns here. All right, we are 2 turns away from baryonic shielding. We should be constructing a navy up here. Oh, it won't be done for a couple turns. Okay. In 12 turns, we'll have a full navy, a 4-ship navy fleet. I should say a fleet. Every major civilization in the galaxy is different, and each bring different capabilities to be mastered. Open the newly accessible Empire summary screen to learn the intricacies of the United Empire. Remember, information is power. Hover the cursor over the side panel to learn the United Empire's unique faction, affinity, and traits. Understanding and utilizing these characteristics will be vital to success. So we're the United Empire, the federated systems of Aesop Grimm. The United Empire, the Empire is theoretically under the control of a central monarchy. However, the rate of expansion means that the society cannot be ruled that way effectively. In fact, the systems of the colonial diaspora are colonized by designated corporations who work hand in hand with the Ministry of Investment and Development. The Ministry of Security is involved as well due to the need for native and/or alien pacification, security forces, defense, and surveillance. So that we've read that before, and And I can see how that plays into the idea of the governors being who has the voice in the government. Influence, Emperor's will. The voice of the emperor is a powerful thing. Use influence to buy technologies, constructions, and items on the marketplace. Generate influence for each construction. So maybe this is a little bit like a feudal empire where you have a quote-unquote king, but the nobility, the aristocracy, hold large amounts of influence, and there's a power play dynamic between the king and the aristocrats, because a duke, for example, can become very powerful if he's able to connive his way into more land where he represents more of that nation. If you upset him, he doesn't deliver as much of the goods that his land provides, and that weakens your nation as a whole if he starts to accrue a large percentage of the land and stuff like that. The empire, okay, so we just read that. Emperor's will. Use influence to buy out star system improvements, research technologies, and purchase resources on the marketplace. Imperials, there are many paths for these humanoids, though they tend to prefer economic and military development. Empire traits expansionist 1. Strong propaganda lapped up by eager colonists, meaning that the people are less inclined to be annoyed when their empire grows. Negative 25% over-colonization penalty on empire. Patriots class 2. Faction trait. Real patriots that are ready to give their blood and life to their empire lead to higher conscription rates on systems, plus 25% manpower capacity for the entire empire. Xenolinguistics. Whether you wish to make trade, research, wage war, or have peaceful relations with aliens, their communications must first be studied and conversation brought to a higher level than merely dropping prepositions and speaking more loudly. And then off-world agribusiness. These are the two. These are two of the technologies that we researched. The system improvements, I should say. We are at 52% approval, which means we're content. Total approval of your empire calculated as an average of star system approval ratings weighted by population. High and low approval values can influence the science and dust outputs of your systems. Okay. Your current number of colonized star systems and the maximum over which you will begin to get an empire-wide approval penalty. We're at 2 of 5. Okay. In addition, the Empire Summary screen gives a very useful overview of your Empire's star systems, providing you with the ability to perform most of the common system actions, queuing constructions, searching curiosities, and moving populations. Oh, that's nice. So you can do all of that from this screen. Active policy for construction in this system. No options. All right. So, how does an empire emerge victorious? Select the Victory tab to learn the many ways an empire may become the galaxy's dominant civilization. Triumph can come in many guises in the endless galaxy. The Victory hexagon displays the 6 different ways that victory can be attained and shows your current position in each category. Hover the cursor over each victory name to see the exact conditions. Okay, so first means that we're either in the lead or we're tied with everybody because everybody's first. Supremacy, bring all the major factions' home systems under your control. Yeah, see, nobody owns anybody else's home system, so we're all tied for first. Progress, you own 1 out of the 4 required major factions' home systems in the galaxy. Conquest, bring a certain percentage of star systems under your control, depends on galaxy size. Progress, you own 2 out of the 22 required star systems in the galaxy. We're in 2nd place. Science, research all 4 victory technologies to win. Progress, you have researched 0 out of the 4 required technologies of the Endless. Neither has anybody else, or so has everybody else, researched 0, so everybody's tied for first. Our economy is bad. Generate a total amount of dust over the course of the game to win. Quantity depends on game settings. Dust obtained through diplomacy or the marketplace does not count toward this victory. Progress, you have generated 647 dust out of the required value of, what is that, 7 million? 1, 2, 3, 700,000. And then wonder, build the victory wonder a certain number of times to win. Progress, you have built 0 out of 3 required obelisks of all space-time. And everybody is tied for first. Oh, and then there's score, where I'm 3rd. Have the highest score at the last turn of the game. Depends on game settings to win. Increase your score by gaining population, colonizing and upgrading star systems, researching technologies, improving your trade network and your heroes, winning battles, and completing conquests. Game progress, 23 of 300. Okay. All right. And I believe I'm researching stuff everywhere. Yes. And again, I can go here and, well, I thought it was here. I know it was here. Systems, there we go. And I can see that both systems are producing. The other thing I need to check is my explorer vessel, who is still at 1 of 2 probes. I am 2 turns away from baryonic shielding, so I'm also researching a science. Solo quest started, Chapter 1, A Hidden Rebellion, Part 1. It's like a knife through your heart. You joke, Hadri, you say, knowing the Sheridan never jokes. He shakes his head. The weapon signature leaves no doubts. You stare out at the starfield, anger growing. A United Empire fleet fired upon by a fellow UE vessel of obsolete design? How old? 25 solar cycles at least, Your Imperial Majesty. We think there must be an outpost out there somewhere. The knife twists. This is no reactionary rebellion. This is something fermented decades ago. Meticulously planned, kept hidden with a military-like focus. Few would possess the courage, the resources, the sheer iron will to see through such an undertaking. Who would do such a thing? You thought the uprisings were a thing of the past, crushed forever when you disposed of Duke Anatov and finally united the Empire all those years ago. See, feudal system. Yeah. Your heart, hey, just FYI, if anybody's interested in it, there are scholars in real world, in today's world right now, there are scholars that have been increasingly looking at global politics and say that there's a scholarly theory that there's a push by the globals, I guess what you would call elites, for a neo-feudalist system made up of a small amount of people that make the aristocracy, and everybody else becomes a serf and tax chattel. And so that's not a conspiracy. That's scholarly discussion from what I've heard. So I'm not trying to scare anybody or anything, but look what we're reading about, and you can maybe relate to this a lot better when you start to understand. We're at least discussing the theories that the same thing is happening here right now. So forever when you disposed of Duke Anatov and finally united the Empire all those years ago, your heart chills. Could Lena, bitter, ungrateful Lena, have hatched such a diabolical plot? Or maybe it was Hadri, so-called First Protector Hadrelenko. So near and yet so far from the seat of power. Or perhaps it was Petra Mandzuric? Maybe that's an R. Petra Mandzuric. She who could trace her line to the great Mazari clans, who lusted over a greater power. No, this way lies madness. They are loyal subjects. I will find the perpetrator. Slowly, methodically. You cling to the thought, a lifeline in an ocean of dark musings. Hadri coughs. What is your command, your Imperial Majesty? All right, do we want to intimidate? The moral response, the effective response, is to turn to violence, or at least its threat. We will grow our glorious armies, march across the stars, and the enemy will know we come for them. Empire manpower begins accruing after system manpower is full. To raise capacity, unlock new stages of the military quadrant of the technology tree, or possess more systems. And the reward we would get would be Punisher drives. Building on Rebel insights into engine power management algorithms, all fleets, existing and future, will enjoy increased weapons damage as additional energy is diverted to weapon systems at the point of firing. This is a forever improvement. This would last for the rest of the game. Plus 10% damage on ships. All fleets, existing and future, would get plus 10% damage on ships. That's pretty nice, man. Bribe. So intimidate, we would have to reach 800 military or manpower capacity in our empire. Bribe. Stockpile 600 dust in your empire. The leaders will need punishing, but the foot soldiers of this rebellion would be better treated as weak, misguided souls. Souls who should learn of the financial inducements the Emperor is offering for information. Oh, that's funny. Raise dust through trade companies, marketplace activity, and economic unlocks, among other methods. And we would gain an outpost called Trader's Reach. Locate. Better to keep this matter private or else be made a laughingstock. Sending a small fleet to locate and deal with the rebel outpost discreetly and efficiently is the right response. Send explorer ships to systems with curiosities and use the start expedition fleet action, or add the curiosities to the construction queue if you own the system. Well, that kind of appeals to me from a style perspective. Explore 10 curiosities. Oh, but we're starting at 0. The reward would be daily slogan, and we would get an empire improvement of food, utilizing insights from pioneer psychology. By carefully determining the content and the time of day of a daily slogan, outposts can enjoy enhanced rates of growth. 40% agricultural increase on outpost planets. You know, of these three, and this is maybe me not understanding the game, but it seems to me like this reward right here outclasses the other two by a healthy amount. I don't know what size colony this would be. And I'm already researching stuff that gives us some serious food. Plus, this only applies to outposts, which are not outposts for long if we're doing things right. They become colonies. I'm going to go for Punisher drives. Okay. Do we have another probe? Yes, we do. Let's do that, and then we'll end the episode. Oh, I can't. What a waste of time. I thought that that's what it was waiting for. The Empire does not have a high enough curiosity expedition power. Research advanced technologies to obtain it. Alright, well that's unfortunate. That's really my bad. Move here. Okay, and we're at 0, so let's save. And there we go, guys. We are busy trying to uncover the entire Serpens system. And if we can get control of this system, we'll gain plus 15% to agriculture. We control 2/3 of it right now. Oh, no, we don't. Oh, yeah, we do. You control 2 of the 3 systems needed to own this constellation and claim the control bonus. Yeah. All right, well, that's the wrap up there. Again, I'm Aesop Grimm. Thank you for coming by the channel. I hope you like what you saw. I hope all is well in your neck of the woods. And I will see you in the next episode where this story continues.